I am a second thought to stone, breath borrowed from the wind. This hill with all its history has already set its rhythm. We move. The land moves first. There is choreography on the moor. Each gesture learned in the silent slope of a hill. In a pony's stillness, it's hidden in a stagnant ruckus, and we willingly spin into the damp. The land rehearses us, and we improvise its echo. Time pressed into the path. Its body remembers what the mind forgets.
Dee-at-da-dee-dum, dee-day-da-dee-do, dee-at-da-dee-do-da-dee-do, dee-at-da-dee-dum, dee-day-da-dee-do, dee-at-da-dee-do-da-dee-do, dee-a-da-dee-day-dee-do, dee-at-da-dee-dum, da-dee-a-dee-da-dee-do, dee-at-da-dee-dum, dee-day-da-dee-do, dee-at-da-dee-dum, da-dee-day-dee-do, dee-a-da-dee-day-dee-do, dee-at-doo-dee-dum, da-dee-a-dee-da-do, dee-at-da-dee-dum, dee-day-da-dee-do, dee-at-da-dee-dum, da-dee-day-dee-do.
We found a clear path around the brook, became hymns and hummed under the chiff-chaff's concerto, churning ink and unkempt questions into psalms. After searching the hook of the hoverfly's home turf, we circled back, stalked the gorse and undergrowth, looking for the music and mischief of the undulating moor. Trouser hem scored by due diligence, under the guise of poetry. Under the supervision of bluebells, warbler sonata, and meadow pipit prayer, we paired poetry with stewardship, sharpening our window into the symphony of wild service.
60% of my body is water, so why don't I flow like you? How to do it so effortlessly, I wish I knew. I'm supposed to be your daughter, but I feel far removed. Realize now, I made my home in a drought. Prodigal child, am I worthy of being renewed? My body needs a reset. I've been told it can be productive to rest. Can I stop here with you and still move forward? Maybe you can teach me to be so transparent. Can you also make all my blocks apparent? Through osmosis, maybe my body will feel safe to flow so free. Clear the murky waters, with clarity I'll see. You're not just a resource, I'm thirsty to reconnect with my source, reclaim my innate nature I've been too shallow to embody, living softly with unstoppable force. Spending this time with you, it's become crystal clear. We're one, you can't be more near. Years of extracurricular activity and I didn't even need to learn anything new. More moments like this will remind me how to flow like you.
Stone Charter. This stone once meant stop, or start. It was low by lichen, lined by hoof, a boundary marked by breath and footfall. You didn't need a deed to walk it. An oath of stone and witness. This charter spoke in tree and turn, from the granite berm across the green to where the stream bows round the hill. This land is a ledger of common truth that remembers all its old citizens and those who spoke it into being. What if naming a place meant listening to the brick that built it up? What if ownership were an act of deep reverence?
Like a seed, she curls and unfurls, growing taller and braver. Stillness as she takes it in, swirling with the wind, then steps taken slowly. Once more she turns inward, and then again flies. Breathe in the air, open into the sun. Many times she returns to the cocoon, reflecting, unfurling like a fern, pirouetting like a butterfly. Now running, stomping with a smile, a cycle, gracefully rising like a swan, then as strong as a warrior. Many times she returns to safety and ventures forth again.
Let me sleep beneath the green. Let me sleep. Let me dream. Let me sleep beneath the green.
I'm trying to make sense of my beloved, my abandoned home. You see, after a decade of numbing, it turns out it takes a while to defrost to revive to return. Below this language of swifts and distant sheep, I don't hear anything. Or rather, I can feel the white noise of a diesel engine here, at the nib of my sternum. And yes, I can taste the shadow of your lips moving. Is that blood on your chin? Is that blood on my hands? All this time, I didn't realise I was still up in that mulberry tree, limbs shaking, a smile looking up at me, cigarette smoke, disgruntled wasps, stolen berries imploding under my tongue. So ripe, I think I might be drunk. And then you tell me about a walnut tree, so tall its fruits shatter on impact. And when I ask you, where? You give me a country's name, but what I need is coordinates. What I need is to stand exactly within its circumference and listen for a hull split. And there it is, a thud in my outstretched jumper, torch shell fused at the meridian. I can't believe it's mine. Is it mine? If I were a mother, I'd mount it in the cradle of my palm and survey its features. But it's too late, and I've already driven a nail into its most obvious flaw. And I'm brushing shrapnel from my thighs, and brain in hand, I'm searching, with my eyes closed, for that part of the cortex that turned me into a fawn.
One fritillary counted, 2 vanished. Rainfall doubled in the winter of. Tin worked along the slope until the bog holds sedge, ragged robins, and round-leaved hawthorn cracked clean in the frost of. Hail dented the barn roof like hoofprints script. A skylark fell, and an otter was sighted by the streambed gravel. The land writes everything down in rot, in peat, in possibility. We walk into the archive.
Untie those knots and connect back to the sky, your surroundings, and earth. Listen to the stories of ancient trees. Indulge in the squishy moss. Look upon the many imprints that have travelled on these pathways. Rest on the tickly grass. Discover hidden treasures among the wild nature and within yourself. Feel the breeze underneath your armpits and soar through the air. Claw among the flowers, the rivers, tuck into hiding places. Weave into the roots beneath you. There's life all around us.
Everything is already happening. Expect everything, and anything seems like nothing. Expect nothing, and everything feels like everything. This is everything I wish I knew about your face, with its pond skaters drifting into a wince as we contemplate the weather, as a whispering silhouette of a moss branch breaks into a half grin and your eyes become a congregation of amphibious thoughts. Scored by a procession in and out of risk, we revisit the best and worst of wild service. The half-rain and hoverfly a floating asterisk against the calm. The pond is still. The wind is heavy. And the conversation is vibrant.
Cow shit. Dropped by a moving biodigester. A pre-digested offering to the earth. Drilled by winged dung beetles, guardians of the minerals. Segueing nutrients between sky and the soil.
Under my feet is a wall that holds the canvas of dopamine. Paint comes from 20 miles away and hits at speed, letting splatters release into the nutrients the cows eat. Let's simplify the shades to make the yellow flowers pop. They have been sat on by the canvas of greed, therefore muddying underneath, not allowing the flower to read my fortune of butter or fuel our meat. I want to be close to see the ground's paws laugh, its mouth being filled with unnecessary splats. You with no footprint from 20 miles away can't hear the earth gag with permanent paint.
This length of moorland isn't mine. It grew in someone else's silence. The stone said it first, then the moss that softened the syntax. Each field is a sentence too long to finish. We each add a word, then leave, until someone finds it again, half buried between archaeology and gorse. The skylight punctuates the hill, does what any good story does, and feeds the possibility of growth. I saw and stole that moment from the marsh, and it forgave me. This poem stretches further than its archaeology does.
Chiff chaff. 8 grams of netted fragility. Silver belted leg. Ringed and released. To loop among the swallows, cradled in their upturned bowl, where they slice and saw, roll and curl, carving scimitar arcs. Below we feel the continuous babble and bleat through the earth.
encompassed, held by the land, we receive absolution from the chiff and the chaff. Renew our vows, and sanctified by the song, take flight.
Moss is a pillow that welcomes my tears. Moss is a pillow that welcomes my tears. Moss is a pillow that welcomes my tears.
When the uplands weep, your foot sinks, and the bog exhales a memory now lifted from its root. Sphagnum cradles the ache of silence, and the bluebells flare their slow forgiveness. Without explanation, it swallows you softly again, softly returning what was in a babbling of grief and meditation. The peat re-wets the hem of wild wandering. Even the moss has rhythm here, a reason to clear its throat to the tune of your 2 good feet softening an absence. This land will hold your body. Let it sink, let it seep, let it bloom. This is the sound of healing. Challacombe Chronicled, a Shanto. I might be drunk. I'm trying to make sense of my beloved against the way the weather is sending me. I taste the sky as it shifts with cloud scatter. It turns out it takes a while. I cast a sycamore shadow. The river is my back. The root of a tongue unfurling. Untie those knots and connect back to the sky. Moss is a pillow that welcomes my tears. We are a fluid entity in constant becoming. I felt like I could feel again. In a true way, I feel like I'm moving closer towards your surroundings and the earth, a belonging that so many are suppressed from.